This is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you this card, or how I made this card. It's a simple card. It's just using a punch and a couple of stamps. So let's get started. I need a couple of scraps of Flirty Flamingo to punch the flowers out with. I have a piece of Whisper White. I believe it is 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of Flirty Flamingo, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I have a card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. I have a sponge dauber, Flirty Flamingo, Mossy Meadow, and Pear Pizzazz ink. This small bloom punch, and then I'm going to be using this stamp from Tropical Chic. The sentiment is from So Sentimental, and then I'm going to just use this little tiny flower from the Celebration Thoughtful Blooms. You could use anything you wanted, but that's what I used when I made this card, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Okay, so let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is punch out 7 flowers from the small bloom punch. And this strip is just over 3/4 of an inch, like 7/8 almost. It's just a scrap. So 1 inch would probably be perfect, because this is like just, see how it's just big enough. Three. Four. I probably could get another one on there if I can get it in there. Maybe not. 5, 6. I'm going to punch one more just in case I make a mistake when I'm stamping, if I can. Oh, maybe not. Oh, there we go. Okay. Get rid of all these little bits. And then I'm going to bring in this little tiny flower stamp. It doesn't want to stay on my block because it's dirty. The block is dirty and the stamp is dirty. I'm going to line these up. And open the Flirty Flamingo ink. And I'm going to stamp this little flower right in the center of these flowers. Doesn't have to be exact, but okay. I'm going to bring in the sponge dauber. I'm just going to ink around the edges just to add a little bit more dimension to them. Just a couple more. It doesn't take long. It's just a little bit on the edges. And you could use your sponge as well. I just find the sponge dauber a little bit easier. Okay. We're done with that. And we're going to do one more thing. We're going to bring in our bone folder. We're just going to poke in the center like that. Just cups that up just a little bit. Puts a crease where each one of the little flower things is. And then I'm just going to give the ends just a little bit of a curl. You could use anything to poke in the center. Back of a paintbrush. Like the tip of the bone folder doesn't poke through the paper. It's sharp, but it's not so sharp that it breaks it. That's the right word. You can also just do it by squinching it like that. Just like, if I have a tool, I might as well use it. I've got an extra, so I'm going to put that aside. Okay, I'm going to put these aside. The only thing else that's going to happen is we're going to put a gem in the middle of each one. But I want to show you without them first. Okay, now I'm going to bring in this piece of white. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I need a scrap paper behind it. I'm going to bring in I'm going to start with a pear pizzazz ink. And the fern. Actually, I think I want to stamp the sentiment first. That way we know how much room we have. And now I'm going to bring in the memento for that. Wishing you much happiness today and always. It's inked up well. Stamp that right in the center. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in I'm going to start with the pear pizzazz. I'm going to stamp. And I'm going to stamp again. I'm going to stamp. Stamp again. I'm going to do this all the way around the card with the light color. I want one more over here. Okay. I'm just going to stamp off onto there because I'm going to go into a green, so that's darker, so it's not going to hurt it if I don't clean it. Come in, and this is the Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ink it up, make sure it's inked well. I need a re-inker for this one. And I'm going to stamp. Stamp again. Turn the card, stamp, stamp again. Fill in any of those empty spaces. Once you've gone lower than the edge, you can't go higher or you're going to end up with a line. So if you do like here, and then I'll come over here. Okay, let's do one here. I need a stamped off one here, so there we go. Okay. Now if you really wanted, that could be your card, just like that. It's really kind of nice. Get this out of the way. I'll come in with my snail. Actually, this one I popped up on dimensionals. If you wanted it to be simple stamping, you can put it directly onto your card. I just put it on dimensionals so it had a little bit of something else. Okay, take those backs off. Okay, mount this to our Flirty Flamingo layer. Snail on the back of this one. Mount this to the front of our card. Now we're going to bring in our little flowers. I'm going to bring in my glue dots. Two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so we're going to do a cluster of 3 over here. Cluster of 3 over here. And 1 over here. Okay, then we're going to come in with these metallic pearls. And we're going to put one of these in the center of each flower. Try to get it in the center. There you go, and there's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.